Hey everyone, so as sales professionals, we're always looking for a way to maximize our conversions every step of the funnel and book more meetings and grow our revenue and all that kind of stuff. So today I wanted to introduce you a concept that maybe you're familiar with. It's video prospecting that has helped me, my former agency in the past, really increase conversions. And I'm actually using it myself method to increase my conversions for our trial sign up. So I want to walk you through the process that I use for video prospecting, how we use it to increase conversions, and just one of those little tiny pieces to ultimately help us grow our business. Hey everyone, my name is Patrick Spielman. I'm the founder of Upticks, and we help B2B sales teams launch and automate outbound prospecting campaigns, lead nurturing, and stay insanely productive with our sales automation platform, Upticks. So let's get into it. First of all, I want to show you a little example of the types of responses that we can get from video prospecting. I've got other examples. I'm just going to go through this one, and I apologize. I had to put this into a Google Doc, but my screen capturing tool over here would not let me screen capture my Nimbus Pro. So I just sent this one actually to a person that signed up for a trial to Upticks, and they replied back and said, "Thanks for the video note. Absolutely love it. I'm exploring the platform for my sales team members. I will suggest they use it once I'm done with my evaluation. I was planning to send a video message to my customers as well. I think you just inspired me more. All the best." So, it's just a good example. Obviously, video this day and age is really popular. It's the best way we can communicate. If you're a remote team or you're trying to sell somebody to somebody in a different, state, different country, or whatever it might be, it's the best way to humanize your outreach. So that's what we're going to focus on today. I'm going to walk you through some of my processes and what I do and some best practices that I try to utilize within my video prospecting. So let's get into some of the tips here. All right, I'm just going to move this over here quick. Let me walk through some video prospecting sort of SOPs. And these I took from my agency days when we actually used this as a service for our clients. So one of the things you want to start with, and one of the things that we utilized, is we would start our list with grabbing a list from LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you have a warmer list, if you have inbound leads coming in from any paid advertising or somebody signing up for your platform or whatever it might be, if you have inbound leads, you can use those as your lead list. You don't have to go out and use LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a good product, obviously, to use if you're in the B2B space and you're looking to generate leads from the LinkedIn platform. In terms of the LinkedIn process, you want to connect with prospects on LinkedIn, of course. And once connected, you want to send them a video message to them in their inbox. And you want to insert a headline message first. I'll show you that in a second. And I've got some other practices for utilizing this with LinkedIn and in other videos. I don't want this to be a specific LinkedIn version, but just some best practices here. You can paste the URL. Basically, I'm going to show you some of the tools that I use to paste the URL into an email or into your LinkedIn. And I reference Soapbox here. It's a tool that we used to use at my agency. I've actually kind of shifted tools, and I'll get to those in a second. In terms of email, you want to insert the message and thumbnail into the email, and that thumbnail image is going to get generated from the video system that you're recording yourself and the screen capturing. So this whole process is really a video similar to what you're watching right now. You're going to have an image of you in one of the corners of the screen, and you're going to capture the back of the screen, and you're going to have their website pulled up, or maybe their LinkedIn profile, or some sort of asset. Maybe a blog article or something that they wrote specifically for their business, something really, really, really that stands out to them. And the more personal you can get these things, the better the conversion rate. All right. So those are some just quick little SOPs. In terms of the tools you want to use, I'm currently using Vidyard. I've used Soapbox in the past. I've used Hippo in the past. I've used Loom in the past. And they all have their pros and cons. Some work better than others. Some have their specialties. I just happen to be using Vidyard because to me it seems like the system works the best in terms of loading times, and doesn't seem to get stuck rendering videos, and stuff like that, encoding or whatever the technical jargon is for videos. That's just the tool I've been using. But I had a lot of success with Soapbox. We used that for 2 of my businesses in the past. We actually still use Soapbox for one of my other businesses. And so that's a really good product as well. Hippo is a good product, but it's been a little clunkier for me. You can do a lot of the same stuff. One of the things that Hippo, though, does really well is you have a lot of editing options. So Vidyard and Soapbox don't have the editing, the kind of deep editing options that you can do with Hippo. Hippo, you can create GIFs and you can overlay the video with text and a whole bunch of stuff. The system happens to operate a little bit slower. And so for me, time's kind of money, and I didn't need all those editing capabilities. So I wanted something that, rendered the videos and just loaded them really, really quickly so I can get through a lot of these videos rather quick. So, Loom's been around for a long time. Loom's a good product. We haven't used them exclusively for business purposes in the past, but I've used them personally. Now, getting into kind of some of the etiquette, and I'll show you an example of a video here in a little bit, as long as my extension will allow me to do it. But the etiquette, you want to make sure there's proper lighting in the room. So you can look at my image here. This is decent amount lighting. And, this day and age, as I'm doing this, obviously we're in the middle of COVID right now. And so if you work from home, people just kind of expect that. I wouldn't be overly concerned. And I think in the future, people are really going to expect that as well. If you're sitting down, you want to make sure you're sitting straight up in your chair. You don't want to slouch. You don't want to do any of that. Standing is always a good way to, get yourself a little bit more energetic. And one of the things that, especially if you talk a little bit slower, it can come across on a video as even like really slow. So you kind of want to find that balance of, the speed of the video and getting your point across really quickly. And sitting down sometimes can sort of slow you down. You're not as energetic. So you want to keep up the pace in the video. Always make sure you smile, in the beginning, the end, stuff like that, especially if you're doing this as a prospecting method. One neat thing you could do is you could buy a little whiteboard and write their name on it and show it to them in the video. And I'll just kind of show you what that looks like in 1 second. So you're just going to grab a little whiteboard here. I had to grab mine. And you just do something like, you just say something like, "Hey, prospect," and give them a little wave or something like that. And when you embed this into an email specifically, they're actually going to see, you can pick your thumbnail as this image. So they know that it's a really, really hyper targeted email. It's not just some mass email, and your click-through rate and your chance of them actually responding to you increases substantially. So just kind of look at some of your data in your email targeting, look at some of your open rates, and you're going to notice that your reply rates and stuff like that obviously aren't as high. This is really going to increase your reply rates and your click-through rates. And you're going to be able to see, especially with, like Vidyard and Soapbox, you can actually see when somebody watches these and when they actually, click on them. If you're using upticks, you'll know when somebody clicks on the link in your email to view it. So that's a really, really good indicator. And in terms of the scripts, so I'm going to give you some scripts for this process that you can utilize. And I'll probably link down below to our video prospecting script workbook. If you want to check that out, it actually helps you write LinkedIn prospecting, sales copy, this video prospecting, sales copy, a cold calling script, and some cold emails. So it's really cool. You don't want to read word for word though. So with those scripts, you want to really kind of memorize sort of the process, and you don't want to read word for word. So you just want to use it as a guide. You don't want to be staring at the screen, reading back and forth. You want to practice this enough so that you can just get on the camera and the mic and just knock it out. And these videos are under 60 seconds. So once you get into that process, you won't have a problem. Some of the hardware I use, so I use a Blue Yeti Nano mic to do my videos, and I'm using a Logitech C920S high def cam, and mentioned the web whiteboard as well. So that's some of the hardware that you might need to do this process. I wouldn't suggest using your computer camera, especially if it's lower quality. You want these things to be, as high quality as possible, because you don't want it to really be a reflection of your product or your service that you're selling if the camera quality isn't low, the lighting's not right, stuff like that. None of it doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't like movie quality grade or anything like that. But these simple little tools, you can get started, for like $100. Pretty simple. Some little piece of advice here: always send videos over written messages unless your sales activity, and if you're using a sales activity workbook, is showing lower conversions. If you're using a tool like Upticks, you can manage your conversion rates and stuff like that, and see kind of how you are performing overall with your prospecting. But you always want to use video, especially the lower in the funnel you get, you want to use video because it's going to help you convert a lot higher. And if you've got the time and the bandwidth, if you can insert video into your, more top of funnel activities, even your cold outreach, warm outreach, that kind of stuff, every step of the way, this is going to help you maximize your conversions. So let me show you what one of these videos actually look like. So this is a video I sent. So when I get a trial sign up in our platform, I send a one-to-one video for the people that sign up. And when they click the link in my email, they're just going to be taken to a landing page like this. It's going to have, the image of me in the bottom left-hand corner in this instance, and it's going to be a video. So they're going to click on it. Hey, Chris, Pat Spielman here, founder of Upticks. Say, just noticed you signed up to our platform just a little bit ago and wanted to reach out and say thank you for joining. Really looking forward to having you. And if at any point you need help with anything whatsoever, from setting up your account, launching a campaign, or maybe even just some general sales and marketing advice, more than happy to help. For any sort of support, you can book a support call using the chat widget down there. You'd be meeting with my co-founder, Dan. I'm more of the sales and marketing person, and you should be getting some emails from me for sure. You can always, shoot me an email. Otherwise, in the bottom left-hand corner, we have some courses for sales acceleration and sales automation that we built. So feel free to check those out. Click the link down there. That'll open up our university. You can sign up in there. And you can actually chat with us in there as well. So feel free to reach out anytime you need something. Also, I tried searching for you on LinkedIn to connect. I came up with a bunch of Chris Pratts in there. So if you want to connect and network a little bit, down below in the email here, I'm going to have a link to my profile. So if you want to send me a connection request, I'll make sure to accept that. Either way, I appreciate you signing up for our platform and look forward to having you. Thanks. All right. So that's a quick 1 minute example there. Later stage in our funnel, really high touch. If I had the time, I would do these in an earlier stage in the funnel. With everything I have to do, I can't possibly do that. So when somebody signs up, I'm utilizing this as a method to thank them for signing up for a trial. And this is just a practice that I want to incorporate into our process. So each day when I start my day in Upticks, I've got tasks assigned to me. I'm not in my regular Upticks account right now. I'm in my demo account, but I have my tasks assigned for me. So when somebody signs up, I've got a task to connect on LinkedIn and create a video for anybody that's signed up to Upticks. So that's how I kind of manage the process with our automation tool. And that's what the video looks like. So it's super short. It's to the point. That one was actually a little bit longer. I usually try to keep them under about a minute. And I'm not really doing anything to edit it. I sometimes, I might mess up a name or something like that earlier on in the video, but with most of these tools, you can cut off the fronts and the ends of the video, and any sort of mess ups, then you don't have to re-record. Unless you're in the middle of the video, usually you have to re-record it. But since you're keeping these under a minute, and once you get this down, there's really not a whole lot that you got to worry about. Let's get into some of the scripts. So I want to take you through the video prospecting script that we use for cold outreach. So this one's more for cold outreach. The other one's more for like a LinkedIn connection. And you can adapt this stuff and just take the concept and utilize it, any step in your funnel. But here's the cold outreach. So you'd say something like, hey, prospect, first name, I was looking at and then you want to insert their collateral and any relevant commentary. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you might be on their website, you might be on their LinkedIn profile, you might be on an article, that their company shared or they commented on. Is as relevant as you can make it to your prospect. You want to comment on whatever that might be. It's just going to open up, the dialogue a little bit. It's going to show them, of course, on top of you sending them a personalized video, you're obviously using your name in their name in the script. and you're pointing out some collateral, you're pulling up their website, whatever it might be. This is a one-to-one outreach. People, really respect that a lot more than, the automated messages. So obviously the pros there, your conversions are higher. Cons, it, obviously takes a little bit more time. But just, pull up some, collateral of theirs, some sort of documentation that they have showing that you actually did a little research. The next sentence, you're going to transition basically right into your value statement. So you're just going to say, the reason why I'm contacting you is I specialize in helping. And then you want to, mention who it is that you help, right? So who is your target market? And that's going to be, maybe it's, B2B, VPs of sales, bar and restaurant owners, whoever your target prospect is, you want to insert that. And then you want to tell them what problem that you help solve. So whatever that problem is, for us, it's going to be, we can help, decrease prospecting time 50%. We've got a bunch of different problems that we solve, but if I were to just think of one off the top of my head, or we help automate outbound, sales and prospecting activity. So you want to insert the problem that you help solve, and then transition into saying, what desired result you get them. And, for us, it'd be, book more sales meetings, acquire customers faster, a whole host of things. So input the desired result, you get them. And then we do that through a proprietary method. So you definitely want to have a proprietary method. And if you've watched any of my videos in the past, this is really consistent verbiage throughout, videos, throughout cold calling, throughout emails, throughout LinkedIn prospecting. So you're utilizing really all your same sales copy in just different ways and different mediums. So our proprietary method would be, Uptick sales automation software, of course. And if you don't have a proprietary method, especially if you're in the type of business that has a lot of competition, if you're a real estate broker, mortgage broker, insurance agent, whatever it might be, you want to have a proprietary way by which you do things so that you really stand out amongst the crowd. Then you want to talk about, our transition to saying, our clients are typically happy with things like, and this is sort of taking my no pressure cold call script that I've adapted from Sandler Sales and just inputting it into video. So we want to mention the things that our clients are typically happy with. We want to input something that our prospect doesn't think is a problem that your product or service solves. So for us, for instance, it might be that, people don't think that their sales process is a problem, or they don't think that the amount of activity that they're putting out, to their leads and prospects is a problem. And so this is done intentionally. I'm not going to go into all the details. If you want to actually check out my cold calling script, it's in our channel as well. I'll link down below to that as well if you want to check it out, or leave it at the end of this video for you to just easily click on. So insert something that they don't think is an issue in their business that your product or service solves. Then you want to transition and say at the same time, they're still concerned about, and then we're going to input a couple different things there. And in this instance, we're going to insert things that your typical prospect does think is an issue that your product solves. So for us, things that people usually think are an issue that our product helps solve is generate leads, book sales meetings, and help grow revenue. So those are three things that usually our prospects are concerned about and they want to help solve. And those things our product actually solves. So insert those scenarios there. And then you want to insert, although you aren't currently, looking for a solution to, and then just insert a ton of benefits. So you're going to want to insert benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3. And this doesn't need to be, an entire paragraph. This, maybe is like 3 to 4 words for each benefit. So ours could be, help reduce prospecting time, increase their outbound lead generation, reduce the amount of labor time it takes, or whatever it might be. It's really simple one-line sort of statements here, but you want to pack it full of really impactful benefits that that is going to resonate with your prospect. And then we're going to just transition and say, hey, I wanted to reach out because we've really been able to help similar companies to yours, companies like, XYZ. So you're going to just real quick, it's going to be, maybe 5 to 10 words. You're going to say, companies like ABC company, we increased their sales 25,000. XYZ company, we helped increase their, lead to deal close rates by 250% or whatever. So keep it really short and sweet, okay, on that section. So these are just really quick results. And then you're going to want to just transition into a call to action. So, hey, I was just wondering, if you're open to hopping on a Zoom call, maybe seeing if there's a fit and, if it's something you'd like to explore further. And then, I'd be happy to get you some more information. And for us, this is me specifically. And by the way, we don't practice any high pressure sales tactics. This is strictly educational. So one method that you could utilize is, try to hop on a call to basically just add value with them. And I like to usually mention that, hey, this is a no pressure call. Like, we're going to try to educate you and stuff like that as much as we can. And, we don't use any high pressure sales tactics. I just do that because, some people are really used to sort of getting gimmicked and, the bait and switch type stuff, unfortunately. So you can, or you don't need to input this, but, it's something that, probably couldn't hurt. So this is something that you can utilize with a cold email outreach. Again, you're going to want to insert some sales copy in your email as well as embedding this video thumbnail and URL into the email. You want to make sure you use the thumbnail version in email so that, you can, it helps entice a click and stuff like that. So now that we've gone over that, let me just show you real quick the LinkedIn one. So with LinkedIn, it's a lot shorter because you're going to utilize this video right after you connect with somebody. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I don't like when people connect and then immediately go into a sales pitch. So this is a really, really low pressure way to basically just thank them for connecting and, letting them know what you do and, sort of the problems and frustrations that you help your prospects solve and stuff like that. So let's go through the script. So you're just going to say, hey, first name, wanted to formalize our connection with a quick video, and feel free to tweak that if you want. For future reference, just so I help insert your target market, the problem that you help solve, and the desired result you get, and what proprietary method. So it's the exact same formula as the last one. And then you're just going to transition into, I hope we can be a resource for one another. If you have any questions about, and then insert like a frustration or problems that you solve in there, don't hesitate to reach out and just say thanks. Or, looking forward to networking, whatever it might be. Keep this short and sweet. We're not selling. The goal here is to get a response and start a dialogue. You do not want to use this as a long-winded sales pitch because then you're really going to be exposed that your motive is really to just sell them versus, connect and network and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you're really authentic when you're doing this approach and you're not just using it, necessarily to just connect and immediately sell. You're not really going to get the results if you do that. You might get some results, but you're not going to get the results that you really could if you just kept it personal here and kept it more as an introduction. What you want to do after this video, if they don't reply back to you, you may want to send them a follow-up or, a week or 2 weeks later, spread it out a little bit. Be patient with your outreach. You don't want to be hitting back-to-back messages to the same person over and over and over again, because it's just not a good experience. And, it's just going to reflect poorly on your business. So this is the video prospecting process that I've used extensively in the past with my agency and that I'm currently using for more of our bottom funnel activity. But as I showed you, you can use this for cold messaging and cold prospecting as well. It works really, really well, and it's really highly targeted. So if you start with a really good list, it's a list that have opened emails and stuff like that from you in the past. This is a really, really good way to engage them and show them that you've really, really done your research and you took the time to, make this video for them and stuff like that. So if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you get alerts when we launch new videos. I try to do 5 new videos every single week. And if you got a lot of value out of this video, I'd love if you checked out Upticks. It's our sales automation platform that helps B2B sales teams launch and automate outbound prospecting campaigns, lead nurturing, and stay insanely productive with sales automation. So check that out. You can get started absolutely free. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.